Orion HCCA Millennium Edition. So that's a good shot right there. So somebody wanted me to tell the story on these. So the story that I heard was these were meant to come out, of course, for the Millennium. The MSRP was supposed to be like $2,000, and you were supposed to get like a, I guess it was like a 150R HCCA amp, and see on that 150R, that's a 4-channel, and one half is high voltage and one half is a high current. And there seemed to be some marketing differences. If you read Bob Carver's white paper, he talks about how tweeters really prefer high current and woofers really need high voltage. Well, the belief is the opposite. And so I think that's what happened on the 150R, on the execution for that. So, but this was the pop top, and the idea was to include a like a chromed out version of that, either the 150R, which is the one after the pop top. I think, can't remember now. I think it was called the 425, and then it changed to the 150R. But anyways, the idea for the HCCAs was that you get something like the DVX2 crossover module that was for the pop tops, which is a 24 dB slope, or it can be a 24 dB slope filter if both filters are cascaded, meaning they're both at the same frequency and they're both applied. What it really is 2 12 dB filters, and you can either create a bandpass filter, or you can go up or down, or you can just enable one. And that was all in the pop top series with the jumpers and all that kind of stuff. So you were supposed to get an amp, basically like a 150R, and then you were supposed to get 2 mids and 2 tweeters. And a lot of the stuff was the sort of another version of the concept. At that time, the guys that created Concept decided to take their brand with them, and they left and they went to go work for Concept. They started with the Liu family, Lieu, I think, and they're the ones that I bought out for the Concept buyout, which is the video you see in the About Us. We got all those speaker parts, and they were an OEM for probably about 20, 30 different brands, a lot of upstarts and things like that. And but they also came out with their own version of the 300 PRQ and some other stuff. So back to the Orion HCCA Millennium Edition. So that was the kit, and it was supposed to come out during Y2K. And so it was 2 mids, 2 tweeters, and then the big 4-channel amp. And that was and it wasn't DSP; it was still just analog. And that's what was supposed to be the Millennium Edition component set. Okay, sounds great, sounds fantastic. Never happened, right? Okay, it's also a lie. Or you could say it was a marketing smoke and mirrors, or really just an outright lie. So what these are is these are speakers that I created. So now I know a lot of people might be disappointed. Fine. This was back in like 06, 07. It was a long time ago. And the real story is that, what's his name? Not Bernie Bolin. The other Bolins, Ryan Bolins. So Ryan Bolins I met at the auction, the bankruptcy auction for ADST, which was the parent to Orion, ADS, and Apogee. So I met him at the auction, and we kind of had the same idea, which was creating custom woofers, whether it be SPL, SQ, different cone, different frame, whatever. We had this sort of same idea. One of the things that he scored at the auction was, it was like 4 pallets of these. I mean, it was like thousands, or at least looked like thousands. It was probably hundreds. But hundreds of these, it was just right here, it was just the frame, which is a what they call a composite cast, which is, I think it's just ABS. And the magnet is built into it. So I talked about these in a previous video under the rebadge like a pro. And so in red, these were marketed as the Orion HCCA. When the baskets were black ABS, they were marketed under the ADS brand, but it was the same driver, the same exact driver. The performance was the same. Now, what did change was in the Orion version, they were 2 ohm coils. And in the ADS version, it was a 4 ohm coil. And so what happened was Ryan Bolins got these at the auction. They're bulk packaged. They had no soft parts in them, no cones. I ended up making a deal with him to buy those because I had also made friends with Ram So, also known as Richard So. He's from Cambodia, and he worked for a time for Orion doing various things. And he's the one that has all the parts for these. So he had these. I don't know if he stole them. His story was that when the bankruptcy came, they owed him a bunch of money. And instead of paying him in money, they paid him in parts. So that was the story he gave me. I come in to question that because what happened was Ram was building these for us. And he was also stealing clients from me. He was undercutting me. And then he was using my parts that I had stored over there to fulfill those orders. So sometimes I noticed over the years that Ram would, that was his way of negotiating, which I don't recommend. And I don't know if, I don't have very many Asian friends, but I've never seen that behavior in other Asians. So I don't think it's an Asian thing. Sometimes, sometimes the machismo stuff is like a culture thing. You see machismo in definitely black culture, but you also see it in Arab and Asian cultures, which are very honor society type cultures. Anyways, so back to these. So what I did was I ran into another guy that was a graphic artist, and we had designed up this sticker. And I just forget. Oh, Dallas. Dallas worked at. He wanted to do some trades, whatever. He was just a guy that worked at Office Max. And so he had access to these, and he was like, we can get these Kiss Cut made for you. That was the other thing too, is in the auction, I got a whole bunch of ADS stickers that go on the back. ADS had they had stickers that were numbered. And I know they paid through the nose for these, and chances are they probably never paid for them. They probably got them made, and then they just go 60 days late, 180 days late, and then just never pay the vendor. But they were Kiss Cut, like deluxe, really nice stickers that went on the back of the ADS ones. Personally, I've been using them to clean gaps because they're really good for that. The adhesive on them is fantastic. But they're numbered. And so what ADS would do was say, these are matched, right? See, so even though you may feel betrayed that I made these, ADS did the same exact thing. So what they were doing was just putting matching stickers. So there was an A and a B. Were they burning in everyone, breaking them in, and then testing them for teal small parameters? No. But there is a company that does that, and that's Matasound, but it costs a lot of money because you got to sit there and burn them in and then test them, and then the TSPs have to be within plus or minus 5% or something like that. So Matasound actually does that. They do them in matched pairs, and they also do matched quads if you're doing a MTM setup. So, but, and I was disappointed just like you when I found out. I go, matching? It just has matching stickers. That's all that means. So, and you got to look at it from production scale. They don't exactly say that they're committing fraud, right? They don't actually say that they're lying to you. And so it's up to you to assume that they're not lying to you, right? Because really on the whole, is this a great product? Yes. Is it worth the $600 that they were selling it for? I don't think so. And that's why I didn't sell them for $600. I think I sold them for like $200 shipped. And you got 2 mids and 2 tweeters and the ADS crossovers. And if the mids you picked were 8 ohm, these were actually, as you can see here, we used this real technical format for labeling a Sharpie. And these were the 4 ohm versions. So, and then we put, we couldn't afford to buy extra stickers. So I put this is the 5SM, because they originally came as the 5S and the 6S. So we put SM as in S Millennium version, and then 6SM. So, and then we labeled them positive, negative, and basically this is a ripoff of the the original sticker. And we figured that, you know, the company's filing bankruptcy. They're not going to come after us for anything. And, you know, if I had worked at Orion, this is what I would have done. This is what I would have designed. And this is what they do. They do the same thing that I just told you about that I did. But they do it on a grander scale. So, but we managed to snag 2 of the magnetizers that they used for these at a scrapyard that had tons of shit. I mean, it was like they had recon kits and boards and all kinds of stuff. That company was called Apache Reclamation. They still have stuff at the Apache Reclamation, but it's that place is a car wreck. It's like dangerous to even go inside. But if you guys want some rare shit, I can still get some rare shit. I have a lot of rare shit here if you want. That's genuine, that I haven't defrauded anybody on. But this one I came up with my own thing. So, but and Ram So made them. Ram is a very talented person. He later went to work for Diamond Audio and was doing their R&D and testing on their TDX mids, which were fantastic, very expensive. But I think he designed some crossovers and stuff for them and things like that. But now he works at home. He runs what's called adsspeakers.com. Again, he does good work, but sometimes he makes an executive decision like stealing from you that I don't agree with. So, but if you think Ram is a good guy and you still want to send him your ADS driver or your Orion HCCA, he probably will fix it and you won't have any problems. I had problems, so I left. But what we ended up doing was getting the magnetizer. I actually bought 2. So I got 2 for $700, and then I had to get it refurbished because it came with a Mercury vapor switch, which is basically just a big vacuum tube worth of mercury. And what you do is you would just move it, and it would connect the 2 electrodes to discharge the capacitor bank. And so I actually had that shipped all the way to the company, which I think is called Magnetic Instruments or something like that, whatever. They happen to still be in business. I don't think they're in business anymore. But I could afford to refurbish one. And the other one kind of worked, but then it ended up quitting. And the refurbished one, I ended up doing a trade with Ram because, okay, so one of the problems was that Ram is the one that I bought the Gonzo tweeters off of. And of course, they weren't called Gonzo tweeters. He was just trying to sell them on eBay, and nobody would touch them. So I created this backstory that had all kinds of twists and turns and drama. And Ram was able to deliver by using some silver cones, also some carbon fiber ones. And I had the backstory and I had the tweeters and everything. And it was like, these are closeouts, and everybody loved it. And we had 0 returns. Everybody loved them. Now, if you got them and put them in a closet, then that's whatever. But for the people that listen to them, I listened to them. They were great. Again, they're not any different than the ADS ones. And so that's my confession for Sunday. The HCCA Millennium Edition is a lie. And it was brought to you by me, Patrick Chandler, and Robot Underground. It's weird. I completely forgot about this, but I had somebody talking about the videos and said, hey, you need to straighten these guys out because I've been telling them that these are, awesome. And they're like, I've never heard of that. The reason why they never heard of that is because I invented it. So for me, it's almost like a compliment though. It's like if I had a budget and I could really do something, this is what I would do. This is what I'd come up with. But because I have no budget, I come up with, like in the last video, I come up with just stuff that the A-Team would make in 2 hours, or that Tina Turner and Mad Max would make in Thunderdome, that kind of stuff. And I try to just make it affordable and reliable, high value. If I had, I don't know, $100,000, sure, I would do this, but I don't. And so this is what I did. I hope you can be a Christian and forgive me. In the meantime, you could just listen to your speakers and love them. If you have any other questions, though, talk to me and I will do my best to give you the most honest answer I can. Thank you for watching and thank you for your patience.